Great.
I'm really
I
sorry
think
about
this
my
is the last
camera
one,
today.
right?
Again, I'm still having some technical problems with my computer, so you guys won't be able to see me this time either. Okay, I apologize for that. Okay.
Don't worry.
All right. So, as you guys know, this is our eighth encounter. Okay. Yeah. I'm afraid to say that this is our last encounter, unfortunately. Okay. And my first thing to ask you guys today is about the video. Do you have the opportunity to watch it?
Yes, I
Yes,
already
I
was.
did.
Okay, remember that video was about IELTS Part 3, okay? And you were supposed to watch it and write down or memorize the important points, you have to keep in mind during the evaluation, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so remember that the idea to watch this video is to get as many strategies as possible to get the highest score, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All right, so you guys saw the video without any problems, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
No, anything.
yeah. Perfectly
Ruth, you
well.
did it?
Yes, I did it.
Okay, good, good.
Actually, I got the video last week, but I didn't see it.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, I have to, remind you of the language objective, which is to recognize the importance of preparing for the IELTS examination, and that is the oral part. Right? Here
Yeah.
Yes,
we are emphasizing in IELTS Part 3. So let's
Mhm.
yes.
begin with Edward. Edward, give me your summary about the video, please, about the important points that you must keep in mind during the examination. Go ahead.
Well, well, the first point that the examiner emphasized or talked about was that the person who or the interviewee paid careful attention to each question the examiner was asking her. That's one thing that is very important to pay close attention to what the examiner is asking, to what the interviewer is asking. And the other thing that she thinks about the questions, she takes the time to think about it and then give a full and complete answer. That's something. That's another thing that was really, or that is really, really important. Another thing that he mentioned was that she needs time to think about a good answer, and when that's the case, she often buys the time to by saying something like, "Can you give me a moment?" He says that that's something good, that's positive, because this part of the IELTS, the part 3, has some tricky questions, very not very easy, not even for native speakers to give an answer right away. So you sometimes you have to take your time to give a good answer. So he says, don't rush, take your time, as long as you give a complete and good answer. Other thing is that she uses a wide range of vocabulary and grammar, and that's good because she uses present perfect, she uses the present continuous, she uses the past perfect, etc. So that's a good thing. And her answers include logical reasons and specific examples. That's something really wonderful. So he says that the important thing is to keep it simple, keep it logical, try to be excited about the topic. Even if the topic is not very interesting, try to look at positive things about the topic and make it interesting to you. Those are the basic um, points that we have to keep in mind when we do this part of the IELTS. Okay, that's it.
Okay,
Mhm.
wow, fantastic, fantastic, excellent, excellent, Edward. What about you, Ruth? Ruth, what do you remember about it? What are the
Okay.
most important things that you most remember on the video to keep in mind?
Yes, I think one of the most important that I always do is to write down your ideas, take notes, and as well, when you are talking about the topic that you need to talk, read as well these notes because sometimes, I don't know, maybe because the person is nervous or something like that, they forget about the notes. So this is very important. If you have an idea, you have to write, writing down, and then look at that when you are talking. And another very important point it was that per phrase you have to write 2 or 3 words to remember because I mean, in the IELTS, in this part, you have just 1 minute to prepare the speech for 2 minutes. So it's not convenient to write I don't know any phrase, complete phrases, just 2 or 3 words to remember the idea. Another one was she get or she gave details, specific details with the answer. She was very specific about some points. For example, she used which, where, who. Those details that you need to complete your sentence, your idea about what you are talking. And as well, the position of the body. I mean, if there could be straight or something like that. I mean, to keep the information, keep eye contact as well. It's very important. Compound sentences. I mean, not just simple sentences, compounds and complex sentences. She uses as well. And what else? As well, the earn time with the tricky question. With, for example, could you repeat again the question? Because with district, you can earn time to remember or to prepare the answer as well. And that's it.
Okay, yeah, pretty complete as well. Well done, Ruth, as usual. What about you, Olga? What do you remember about the video on IELTS 3? Give us your summary, please.
Okay, teacher. The point three is the complete answer. In one strategy, the candidate is I highly recommend that to this specialist in part three is the questions are often quite tricky. There are no questions. You you hear every day. Even a native speaker will have to think about this question before. So don't rush. Take your time. This absolutely okay. As long as you give a good complete answer, learn to buy time with these types of expression like. For example, in the video is the candidate. She say, "I never threw about that before. You can please give me a moment." Also use it a wide range of vocabulary and grammar. She uses the present perfect and future present continuum. The other way, she use all strategies for wide many times in the responses. The other point is the point six is the answer logical and wide detail examples. Is minutious take time in other way the responses in this moment. Um, the the other point is to say the details in examples, the topic and the response in this moment. Other point is the caution. Don't be is important. I had in mind is be expression, emotion, and excitant for people to get take your attention. Uh,
Okay, okay, pretty well, good. He mentions something that is very, very important, right? That you have to make sure you understand all the questions in the interview, right? What do you think about that point, Edward? You must make sure that you understand all the questions you are asked in the interview. What do you think about that specific point?
Okay, that's I think that's very important because if you don't understand what you're asking, what you're asking about, then you're going to have a lot of difficulties in giving a complete and full answer. And the idea is that to be to they're trying to see if you understand what they're asking about, if your listening skills are high, so to speak. And if you don't understand that kind of questions, maybe in an English speaking encounter or surrounding like at the university where you're gonna have difficulties with your work or with your studies if you trying to get trying to take the IELTS because you need to get into the university or maybe because of working related issues. So I think that's very important. It's definitely very important to understand the questions.
Great, Ruth. Also, he mentions something that you must give logical answers and with detailed examples. What do you think about that point? That you must,
Yeah,
during the examination, you must give logical answers and with detailed examples. I mean, you don't have to be beating around the bushes, right? You have to get straight to the point and, be specific and clear. What is your opinion about that?
I think when, for example, when you have an idea, but you don't know how to express it, you are going to start around the idea, but you are not going to go to the point. So when you don't go to the point and be clear with the idea, there's the moment when you are not going to give a logical idea to the answer. I think that the details are the clue for that. If you give good details about in the answer, for example, use where it happened, when it happened, and all those details, you can give a good answer. But if you are going to start with maybe I have the idea, but I don't know how to express it because it happens to me all the time, so you are not going, you are going around the idea, but you are not going to go straight to the point. So it's in that moment when you are not going to show that you are clear or you know what to say about the question. So it's really important because you need to have a coherence in your answer. It's really important. It's about communication.
Fantastic, fantastic. And there's another point that you guys didn't mention, and that is for you, Olga. He tells us to think about what most people say for our answers, to think about what most people say. What do you think about that, Olga? How would you break that down?
Okay, it's excellent question. I think the answer the candidate is the the complete answer. It's very important to say examples, completes in the answer. You must say word uh, to explain adequately in the moment of the question. Other way is excellent rango of the vocabulary. It's important you have many vocabulary for response your ideas the better way is very important in listen careful to question. how is now your question, for example, is it's important how to say the question other person is interested in all topic.
Okay, great, great, great. Good ideas, good points, good summaries. Fantastic. Okay, let's put into practice what you guys have learned, okay? Now, we're going to have the same kind of interview on the video, but we're going to do it online. So we're going to pretend that it's going to be just, the two of us within each section, okay? So I'm going
Okay.
to begin. I'm going to give you free election. Who wants to start?
Okay,
I want
I can
to
start.
start. So I don't
Okay,
know,
Edward, you
Edward.
want to
Go
give
ahead, don't worry.
Ruth the chance to start?
Yes, I want
Okay,
it.
okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
listen. And by the way, what happened with Jonathan? Have you heard from him?
No.
I have no idea. I thought you knew about Jonathan because he's
No,
always
I tried to contact him, but he never answered. He never showed up. He's gone with the wind, so I don't know where he is.
I don't know. He's very punctual. I don't know what happened to him.
But he must
Yeah.
be partying somewhere. You know him? He loves to
Maybe.
party. So it's
Maybe.
like, I'm sure he's okay. So let's pray that he's fine.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
so let's get started. For this next part, okay, I am supposed to select a different topic or activity based on the practice questions, okay? That are, I have them in my folder, okay? And after the topic that we choose to discuss one by one, I'm going to be asking you guys follow-up questions, in which you guys will have to give very accurate, very precise, and very good answers to your questions, okay? So,
Okay.
Ruth said that she wanted to get started. So, let's get started, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Uh, I want to invite Edward and Olga. If you guys want, you can turn off your microphone so you can hear, Ruth the best way possible, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. So, good evening, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Great. Can you please tell me how old you are?
I am 30 years old.
What do you do for a living?
Sorry.
What do you do for a living? What's your job?
Oh, my job. I work as a commercial manager in a company, in a mattresses company.
And how long have you been working there?
I've been working there for around 5 years.
Okay. Are you married or single?
I'm single.
Good. And where do you live exactly?
I live in Bogota. I am living in a neighborhood, a Juelos neighborhood.
Do you live all by yourself or do you live with somebody else?
I live with my sister with a friend.
All right, great. All right, now I'm going to ask you some more questions about other different topics, in which you will be able to give me, as precise and accurate answers. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First of all, describe an interesting city that you know very well and like very much.
An intensity. Sorry, could you repeat again the question?
Yes, you need to describe an interesting city that you know very well and you like very much.
Okay. Okay, I know this city called Dubai. I lived there for around 2 years. And this city is very, very interesting because it has an wonderful architecture. It has really, really tall buildings. Actually, it has the tallest building in the world, the biggest mall in the world, the biggest aquarium in the world. So this city has a lot of buildings that are the most important or the most known in the world. So that's why it's very interesting as well because of the culture. The culture is very different. It's very different from ours. So, for example, we have here the religion. The religion, I mean, we have Muslim people there, so it's very interesting because everything around, I mean, everything is about the religion.
Okay.
Everything is
You
about the
know,
religion.
okay, good, 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 good. When did you go there?
I went there in 2015. Actually, I went there in October 27. I remember that day. It was very important.
And how long were you there?
I I lived there for around 2 years.
Why did you go there?
I went there because I wanted to study English, and that city was the only one where I could work and study at the same time. So I was allowed to work and study at the same time. So that's why I went there.
Good. Who did you go with?
I went there alone by myself. I just got a good school, and then I pay the school, and then I went there by myself.
Good. What is the most important or the most remarkable thing that you liked about that place?
The most important, I think, it was when I went to the fountain. That is a place where you can see the tallest building in the world. It's called Bush Khalifa, and it's very impressive. This building is very tall, and you can see a lot of light there, a lot of swimming pool. The mall is there, a lot of people, electric cars. I mean, it's amazing. The people is very nice. Everybody looks very happy, very incredible, very amazed because the place is really extravagant.
Okay, good. Is it expensive to live there?
Actually, it's not. I think the most expensive thing is accommodation. It's the most, but I think in Europe it's very expensive accommodation. But I think food live there is not expensive. It depends. For example, for tourists it's very expensive, but for people who live there it's not. So because you can get to some place, you can go to some place and it's free. It's for everybody. Beaches and some buildings are free, so it's okay. It's not expensive.
Good. Are you planning to go there anytime soon?
And maybe next year when I get graduated, I am going to back. Maybe it's my plan so far. But let's see. Let's see. Maybe I'm looking for a good job there because I mean people there is well paid. So let's see what is coming.
Great. Okay. Now, how do you compare that place with the place where you are from? How can you
Oh
compare the pay with Colombia?
yeah. So I compare this city first of all with safety. This country in Dubai is very safety. I mean, you can go around anytime and it's very safe, so it's okay. In Bogota, it's not. It's very dangerous. So I do that compared with these cities as well. The culture, people there is very respectful. I mean, here in Bogota, you can find some people that is not respectful, don't respect you. So, but there, everybody has. It's important. Everybody, it's I mean, has a private life. I mean, it's not like you you are free or something like that. It's very respectful. This place. It's very good.
All right, great. Now, I want you to describe an area of your country that you love and like a lot too.
I love Cartagena. I think this place is very romantic. I mean, because I've been in Cartagena twice. So I think the place, because it's very old fashioned. So I think those places that are very old fashioned, so it are amazing. They have a history to tell to everybody. So I think it's very great for that.
All right. If you could describe your country in three words, which words would you use?
Colorful, friendly, and as well the only one.
Great. So you can say that you're very proud of your country, right?
Yeah, I am. I really, actually, I went to Dubai because I had to study English. Actually, it was a plan for me, but I love Colombia. It depends on anything, but I love Colombia.
Okay, thank you very much, man. We are done for today. You've done a really great job, and as soon as we can, we will send you the results of your interview, okay?
Thank you very much. I hope I get the best result.
Great, great. You will. Very well done.
Okay, thank you.
Super, super, Esther. Fantastic. If you were, my candidate, for this interview, you would get a very great score, okay? Very well explained, very accurate questions and answers. And now, while I interview Edward and Olga, you're supposed to prepare a little interview for me, okay? So I'm gonna give
Okay.
you, you're gonna have that time to prepare that little interview to ask me, okay?
Okay, okay, teacher. I get good question for you.
Great, great. So, Edward, you're next.
Mhm. Okay.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so very much. Tell me,
Good.
what is the purpose of your doing this interview?
The purpose of doing this interview is, I think, is to see how my level of English is, and my proficiency in the English language, basically, I guess. Yeah.
All right. How old are you, sir?
I'm 46 years old.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Cartagena.
Great. And where is that exactly? Where in the world is that?
Well, this that's a beautiful city here on the northeastern coast of Colombia. It's
Oh,
a
Colombia. Great.
yeah, it's a very hot. It has the weather is humid, but it's a really nice city with a lot of things to see and to do in the city. Yeah.
Great. Great. Have you lived there all your life?
Well, most of my life I've lived here, but I lived about almost 10 years in Facatativá, which is about 1 hour from Bogota in Cundinamarca. But yes, I was born here and grew up here.
Great. And what is your marital status now? Are you single? Are you married?
Or I'm married. I'm happily married.
All right, great. And what do you do for a living? What's your job?
Well, I'm an English teacher currently.
Great. Why are you studying English now?
Well, I'm studying English to improve it and to do a better job as a teacher, and to improve the quality of my classes, and so my students feel enthusiastic about the classes. They feel engaged in the classes. That's something that I really want to do with my classes, and I think this is a great way to do it.
Great. How happy are you at work?
Well, I think I'm pretty happy at work. I like my job. I have really nice co-workers who are very cooperative, and most of my students are really good students. Of course, there are some who are not that good, but but most of them are really good students. I like the environment at work. I think it's a really nice and cool environment.
Great. Is that what you always wanted to do when you were little? Did you always want to
What?
become a teacher?
Well, no, not really. When I was little, I was dreaming of being a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, I was. I was dreaming of being a pilot when I was little.
So how
It's,
did you end up being a teacher?
I don't know. You know, I think that's one thing lies. Does unexpected things to you, right? Is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's thing led to the other, right? As we grow
Great.
up, we change our mind because of certain circumstances,
That's
and
right.
then I change my mind about being instead of being a pilot, be a teacher.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you some other questions, related to topics of part three. Okay. Are you ready to get started?
Oh, yes, sure.
Okay. I want to ask you, what is an important invention before the age of computers that you can think about?
Well, an important invention before the age of computers, I think, is let me see. Well, I think is the car.
Why do you
Cars.
think it's so important?
Well, because you can travel from one place to another faster than before. Before that, you people use horses, and and that's not that fast. And now with cars, you can travel really, really. I mean, faster, well faster, way faster than before. So that's a really good, convenient invention, I would say.
So that would be
It's
like
really
an
good.
advantage, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Now give me
Yeah.
some disadvantages of having a car.
Disadvantages? Okay. One disadvantage of having a car is that you need to have a garage in your house, and sometimes some houses today, some houses don't have a garage. So I think that could be one disadvantage. Another disadvantage could be that you have to make maintenance to your cars. Sometimes, you have to replace the tires, or maybe the engine is not working well, and then you have to send the car to the mechanic, and well, sometimes that's a lot of money. Or maybe if another car or motorcycle crash your car and damage part of it, you now again have to go to the mechanic to try to repair it, and that's kind of costly.
Good.
But
Are
so
people, excellent, excellent. Are people responsible enough to drive cars?
Well, there are some who are, and others who are not that responsible. There are some drivers who are not very careful when driving a car.
Good.
But
Are you a
uh
careful driver?
Well, I think I am a careful driver. Sometimes my wife says to me, "Come on, drive faster." but, but
Yeah, so
anyway,
that's mine.
Me
Mine is
too.
the same.
okay, but so I think I'm very careful when driving. I think I'm very careful because I know my life, and the life of those who are traveling with me is there, and I need to take care of it. I think it's my responsibility when I'm behind the wheel.
Good. And
Yeah.
what about, imagine the world without cars today? What would it be like?
Oh, it would be a very different world. I think life would be slower, I would say. Uh, I think people, it would take even far more time to get to work. It would take far more time to get, if you need for example, a mail or package, right away, you will get it in maybe 2 days, 3 days, or a week. So life will be a little more uncomfortable in some ways. Maybe there's not going to be so much interaction with other people from other parts of the world, and that's going to be make life a little bit more boring, I would say. Yes.
Good. What other inventions or means of transportation do you think are important in this modern world?
Oh, another invention is the airplanes. Airplanes are another invention that is really good in the area of transportation.
Very fast.
Very, very good invention.
Great,
Yeah,
great, great.
that way you
Nice.
can even faster than cars. So that's
Super.
amazing. Yes, that's very, very useful. Very useful.
Now,
Absolutely.
Great. What is the significant impact of modern inventions on life today?
It has. I think it has a really big, a huge impact on people's lives. For example, computers have a big impact on people's lives today. We can communicate faster today. For example, now we can communicate in real time because of this invention of the computers, Skype, and everything. So that makes it faster, easier, more comfortable. So it has a big impact on people's lives. Of course, like everything has some good things and some bad things. So, but if we are careful, we can use it very well. For example, in the case of computers, you can use computers for good things, or some people use it for bad things. And so we have to of course, we have to try to do it to get the best out of it, to do the best out of the computers, and try to use it for the right things and for the advantage of others, for the benefit of others. And when we do that, it has a really good impact on people's lives.
Great. What invention would you like to see before you pass away?
Well, as a spaceship traveling to Mars. That's one invention I really want to see. That would be
Awesome.
wonderful. I would like to travel in that spaceship. That's for
Great.
sure.
And if that is possible tomorrow, what impact do you think it will have on the planet?
Oh, well, it will have. It's kind of a difficult question. Okay. Well, let me see. I think it will have an impact on people's lives because, of course, many people would like to travel to Mars, and also scientists may find some things on Mars that are going to benefit our life here on Earth, and so we might improve our lives with the things we learn about that other planet. So I think
Okay.
in one way that could be one benefit.
The last question for you. Do you think any of these inventions will be harmful for our planet tomorrow?
Okay, some of these inventions like planes or cars, etc. Well, I think if um, maybe in the case of cars, it could be harmful if because of the pollution. That could be one potential danger about her. Uh, if we are not careful, and if we don't put certain rules about how cars are used, if the authorities don't put out of the way those cars that are really old and are that are polluting the environment, and then that could be a really a real threat to people's lives in the future.
Okay, thank you so very much, sir. You've done
Hmm.
a great performance today. And as soon as we
Thank
get your
you.
results, you will get them, and I'm really sure that they will be real good because you've done a fantastic job today. Congratulations on your work. It was
Okay.
very, very good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, great. So, Olga, Edward, you have to do the same. Prepare a short interview for me, okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Good.
And before we continue, I inform you guys, you must record a video that is a 2 minute video on which you have to give your opinion about these encounters, and you have to give your opinion about my tutoring with you all this time, okay? It's very mandatory because that's going to be also part of your evaluation, okay? So
Okay.
today, tomorrow, whenever, as soon as possible, you're supposed to get that recorder, okay, and send it to me, okay? Remember, a 2 minute
Okay.
video on which you have to give your opinion about these encounters, and where you have to be evaluating my tutoring with you, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so Olga, you're next.
Okay, teacher.
Good
I write.
evening, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Good evening, teacher. I am fine.
Great.
Today is very today.
Okay, I'm so glad to have you here with me. How old are you, please?
I am the 53-year-old.
Okay. Where do you live exactly?
I live in Fusagasugá, Cundinamarca, ciudad Jardín de Colombia.
Great. How
I can see, I can see, teacher.
how long have you lived there?
How long in the city? I let me see, 9 years old.
Okay, who do you live with? Who do you live with?
I live with my daughter. My in this moment, my husband travel for work in the Europe. In the moment is the my dog Rose.
Okay. What is your
Se va. No lo escucho.
what is your occupation?
Can can you hear me, teacher?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Oh, es que se entrecorta. Okay. Eh, I worked in the academic police as a secretary in the moment in the area academy area.
All
Academic.
right.
Okay.
Good. Okay, let's begin with the now. I'm going to ask you some other questions related to IELTS Part 3, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready to start?
Yes, teacher.
A special
No lo escucho.
I for life.
Can you hear me, teacher?
Yes, I can hear.
Se entrecorta.
Can
Repeat,
you
question,
describe?
teacher. No lo escucho.
Can you describe
No lo escucho.
Olga? I don't know. Really well. You describe.
No, dice se entrecorta. Are you not working, teacher? Hello, teacher. No, se me cortó, se cayó la llamada. ¿Qué pasó?
Can you hear?
Special occasion in your life? Okay. I in a moment is the read your question. Um, a special occasion is for me the today in the marriage is a special day. Uh, in this day for especially for me because it's very important. My my husband is very intelligent, very um, um, uh, other way they say special we need. For example, in a special day, he was mm, eh, eh, ¿cómo decirlo?
Okay, did you hear?
What I did mom
When did it happen?
describe it. That day is was where dry no no así callo no 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 lo puedo escribir o sea is the dress my I was dressed I must was dressed I was dressed the white color the dress is very long is shoes are tall. Can you hear me, teacher? No me escucha. No me escucha. When did it happen? Did you say? Hmm? What did you happen?
I really don't understand why she can't hear me because the sound is absolutely perfect, right? Ruth, you can hear me really well, right? Edward, what about you?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Now
So I don't understand. I don't understand why she cannot hear us because
okay.
time.
No, se entrecorta.
Ahora sí no se está oyendo. I can hear her now. I can hear her now.
Can you hear me?
No, well.
Ruth, what about you?
I can hear you, teacher.
Great, 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 great. So there must be something wrong. So
Now it's
let's see.
okay. Yeah.
Please keep going, Olga, please. Time is moving. Time is moving. Okay, teacher, can you hear me? Okay, teacher. I remember today is very important for me, in special because my family is very happy for start in this moment. With Fernando, my husband, is very intelligent, is responsible, is very friends. He like the children. Um, and a special today is I was to opportunity the celebration with my family, all my family, with other friends, my 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 friends at the work. Um, um, Today, the food is very delicious. Today was music and um, mm, we was dancing all night, and the other things. We was drinks some drinks. Um, I remember many things, but I am recorded today for it was today very special. Uh, uh, it is 30 years ago. We was married in February 16th. I don't remember nothing things.
Okay, thank you very much, Olga. Enough. That was enough. As soon as we can, we'll send you the results of your evaluation. Thank you so very much for your participation. Like I said before, you are
Thank
supposed to learn more vocabulary and you're supposed to enlarge the way you express yourself, okay? So now, Ruth, it's time to continue to our next stage, okay? It's time for you to
Okay.
interview me. Go ahead.
Oh,
Olga, you're supposed to
hello,
do the same. Prepare a little interview for me, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Go ahead, Ruth.
hello, everyone. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so very much. How about yourself?
Good, good. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you some personal questions. Okay. So I'm going to start with, where do you come from?
I'm originally from Caracas, Venezuela.
Caracas, Venezuela. How old are you?
I'm 40 years old.
40 years old. Where do you live?
I live in Pamplona, norte de Santander, a city which I
Oh,
love with all my heart.
yeah, I love Pamplona too. So who do you live with?
I live with my family and my two children.
Your
I live with
family,
my wife. My
your
wife and two children. That is my whole family. It's just the
oh,
four of us.
great. What do you do in your life?
I work as an English teacher at Cambridge School Pamplona, which is the number one school, calendar B, okay, in ICFES exams. I'm the official English teacher there.
Oh, it's great. And for how long have you been working there?
I've been working there for 4 years already.
Okay. So why do you decide to become an English teacher?
Well, like Edward said before, that wasn't my intention, to be an English teacher. I
Mhm.
wanted to be an interpreter, I wanted to be a simultaneous translator. But,
Oh,
I grew up, my dad is a retired pilot in Venezuela. And I used to travel, since I was 8 years old. I used to travel overseas. I lived in the United States and in Canada for most of my life. I've lived overseas. I've been around all Latin America, okay, and all America as a whole. I wanted to be an interpreter because I learned English as a second language since I was very little. But in one of my trips to Venezuela, where I met my wife, I was working as an English institute. I met her there, and I was making some translations, and then I was offered a job as a teacher just to give it a try. I began working there and I really fell in love with teaching. So I decided to start, working as a teacher, and here I am.
so because your English is very good, so haven't you have the opportunity to be a translator? Haven't you have
Yes,
the
I have. I
uh,
have. I'm also a Christian. When I was living in Venezuela and in the States, I was, part of an American church. And, there we have people from different parts of the world. And I was supposed to be an interpreter, in every of the services,
okay.
which I loved very much.
Mhm. Okay, so Ruben, which has been your best experience as an English teacher?
I've always liked to, share my knowledge with the people that I know. So my best satisfaction is to be able to see my students succeed, to see them
Mhm.
be successful has been the greatest satisfaction for me. For example, one of my students is working for Airbus in Germany, okay? I
Okay.
have a lot of students who are working in France. I have many students who are working in Germany, England, the United States, and that is, the greatest satisfaction for me to see them, succeed in life.
Okay. But do you remember an special experience that you have had with a student? I mean, or maybe a funny story or a really important story or an story that you never forget?
Yes, absolutely. When I was around what? I was like 19 years old. I had the
19.
opportunity to teach. Yeah, I was 19 years old. I had the opportunity to teach a man who was a judge, and he was a retired judge in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
His wife had taken the children to Canada without the guy's permission. They were divorced, and she took the kids, in secret. The kids
Yeah.
grew up, and the man made contact thanks to technology. He got in touch with his children, but the kids don't or didn't speak Spanish. Okay, the guy was almost 78 years old, and he wanted me to teach him to speak English because he wanted to have an encounter with his children.
Oh
He
my
did
God.
learn English, and the greatest satisfaction for me was to hear from him, telling me that he had, gotten in touch. He had met his children after around 20 years, I guess, and he was able to speak to his children in plain English. That has been the biggest satisfaction and the most amazing experience for me as an English teacher.
That's amazing. It's great. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Sorry?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Is that it?
Actually, I had another question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's a question, but it's different. It's not about your life. It's about the world. What do you think about that theory that says there is life in other planets?
Well, I really don't know. I'm like Saint Thomas. I gotta see to believe. In
Hmm.
all these years, they haven't been able to prove that there is life like on Mars or on the moon or on other planets. Maybe because God's power is vast, and we have such a huge galaxy. We don't know. Maybe it's possible, but it hasn't been proven yet. So I gotta see to believe. Yet I still don't believe in that. Okay.
Okay, Ruben. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're
You are
welcome. Thank you
good
so much.
answer.
Very nice interview. Very interesting questions.
Yeah,
Great.
good answer.
Awesome. Edward, you're next.
Okay. The question is, what's the most unforgettable event in your life?
The most unforgettable event in my life is when I accepted, Jesus as my Savior and Lord. When I became a Christian, that was a moment when I began to see life from a totally different angle. Living in developed countries, you get to know and to live, a lot of experiences, good and bad experiences, but it's like the process of growing. I became a Christian, and my life changed completely. I see things from a totally different angle. I met my wife. I fell in love with her. We started a family, and it's been the greatest blessing in my life.
Okay, very good. Interesting. And what is one thing you would like to do in the future?
Like you, I would like to travel to the outer space. I would like to travel to the moon. And that takes me to Ruth's answer. I want to see with my eyes if there is real life out there.
That's really wish we could do it sometime, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I hope we
Basically,
can go on the same ship.
yeah. That's right. Absolutely. Hopefully. Very
Great,
good.
great.
I think that's pretty much it. Those are the two questions that I had. But
Nice,
very good.
nice. Great.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Surely, but good. Great, great, great. Awesome, awesome. Olga, what about you?
Teacher. And the question is, what thing you will do next week now that you finish the semester?
Well, I'm going to keep on studying. I'm going to keep on learning. I'm going to keep on working. I am a very hardworking person. I think I was born to work. I'm going to continue teaching. I'm going to continue sharing my knowledge with the people who need my help.
You never to rest. No.
No, I think that I will rest when I pass away.
Okay, other question, teacher. Do you enjoy your weekend more now than you did when you were a child?
Oh yes, absolutely. But I would really, like to go back, when I was a kid. Because when you grow up, when you get married, when you have children, your life is completely different. You never sleep the same. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ruth, think about it, okay? Because when you have a child, your
That's
life is never the same.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Ac-
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
anyways, I live one day at a time, and I really pray that God, prepares good things, for us in life, and I'm really ready for tomorrow. So whatever the
yeah,
future holds for me, I'm ready to face it.
it's great. That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah, that's the
Cool.
attitude.
Yeah, that's
Great,
right.
great, great.
Yeah.
My dream for the future is to live in Australia. That is the country that I have always wanted to visit. I haven't had the opportunity to go to Europe, like I said before. I know all Latin America and North America, but I've never had the opportunity to travel to Europe. But the country that I really long to visit is Australia.
Why? Why Australia?
Australia.
I don't know. I've made friends with a lot of Australian people, and it really intrigues me, because it's a really, far away country. English is the official language. The landscape seems to be really cool, and I really would love to know the Great Barrier Reef.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
And I
Because
want to
I
see kangaroos.
Yeah.
sorry, it was what?
I don't know. It's like I like them.
All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's an
that's it.
interesting
That's what I would
country.
really love to do in the future. But I really remember, back in the day when I was a child, I still remember the kind of food that my mom used to prepare for us. I
Mm-hmm.
remember my American friends, my mom used to prepare arepas, and my American friends, they loved them. And I used to laugh at them, to see the gringos eating arepas. And I really, it's moments that I really cherish in my heart. And I really love to go back then.
Arepas from Venezuela, of course.
Arepas and
Oh my
cookies.
gosh, they're so delicious. And
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that that Jonathan wasn't with us today. I really wonder where he is. He
I
Yeah.
would
just
have given.
talked to him. I just talked to him, and he's sick. He has
Oh, too bad.
flu or something like that, so he's sick.
Oh my goodness, I really wonder. I don't know where he will be able to do this because this is part of the evaluation.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, yeah, it's one of the most important. You can see how much we have spoken today. You can see how, well we have, shared this time, and this is one of the most important evaluations of the journeys, okay?
Yeah. I know.
By the way, unfortunately, people, this is the end of our encounter. My goodness, I have enjoyed it so very much. You guys have been so cool, and it's been great. Also, I gotta remind you again, remember the video that you're supposed to
Yes.
record to evaluate me, to evaluate the encounters, and I'm gonna show you a sample, okay? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
show
Okay,
you a sample. I'm gonna share it with you so you guys have an idea, all right?
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay, teacher.
don't
And where
worry.
should I
Tomorrow.
where, where should I
You
where
have to
should I
send the video to me. You gotta send it to me.
Is it
through
right?
Skype or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta send it to me via Skype, and then I will put them all together. I have to prepare a special file to send to my tutor, where she will be listening to each and every one of you one by one. Okay?
All
okay.
right.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
very
I
much.
will
You see, the encounter was
tomorrow.
supposed to last 1 hour, and is already more than an hour. Thank you so
Uh-huh.
very much for this amazing time, guys.
Okay.
You've
Thank you.
been
I
awesome.
appreciate your
Bye.
time, teacher. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for the interview. I really enjoyed it. Really
Okay.
cool.
Really.
Thank you.
Eh,
Thank you, Michelle, for
Thank
your
you for
time
sharing your
and
life
your
with us.
experience.
Thank you.
Excellent. God bless you all. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.
See you.
Bye bye, Bye bye, Olga.
Catch you guys later.